On August 30th, 1918, Russian leader Vladimir Lenin, after speaking at a factory in Moscow, is shot twice, but survives. But who carried out this attempt on Lenin's life? And what was Lenin's response? Vladimir Lenin's would-be assassin was Fanya Kaplan, a member of the Social Revolutionary Party. World War I had broken out 4 years earlier in 1914. Russia, allied with France and Britain, fought against the Central Powers of Germany, Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. The war went poorly for Russia essentially from the start, with millions of Russian soldiers and civilians killed, some by the advanced industrial-era weapons of the 20th century, but many others by starvation and disease. Russian casualty numbers in World War I were greater than those of any other nation. The war also devastated the Russian economy. These struggles caused public outcry which led to the February Revolution in 1917, with Tsar Nicholas II abdicating in favor of a provisional government, which opted to continue with the war. Vladimir Lenin had been living in exile since 1907. Germany made the bold decision to enable him and his lieutenants to cross the border into Russia, with the hope that Lenin would force Russia out of the war. Lenin's Bolsheviks seized control of the government in the October Revolution in 1917, and then established a communist regime. Lenin became a de facto dictator. He then negotiated a peace agreement with the Central Powers in March 1918 that saw Russia give up huge swaths of land in Eastern Europe. Getting out of the war allowed Lenin to focus inwardly. He leaned into his efforts to nationalize industry and redistribute land. However, pro-Tsarist opposition to the revolution turned into a brutal civil war by the summer of 1918. 28-year-old Fanya Kaplan, a fellow socialist, saw Lenin as a, quote, traitor to the revolution who had abandoned true Marxism in favor of authoritarianism. On August 30th, Kaplan approached Lenin and fired 3 shots, 2 of which struck and seriously injured him. She was apprehended but refused to name any accomplices, and was executed 3 days later in Alexander Garden, a public park. Lenin and the Bolsheviks responded to the assassination attempt by executing thousands of political opponents. Over the next few years, Lenin crushed all opposition and officially established the Soviet Union in 1922. Here are other events that happened today in history. In AD 70, during a 4-month siege, Roman forces overwhelmed Jerusalem and set fire to the temple. In 1797, Mary Shelley, author of famed horror novel Frankenstein, is born in London. In 1963, a 24-hour-a-day hotline between the United States and the Soviet Union is established. In 1967, Thurgood Marshall becomes the first black U.S. Supreme Court justice, serving until 1993. In 1993, after being snubbed as host of The Tonight Show, David Letterman begins hosting The Late Show. In 2021, the last U.S. soldiers withdraw from Afghanistan, ending a mission that began after 9/11. In 2022, Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union, dies at 91 after a long illness. And now it's time for our Today in History quiz. What is the only U.S. battleship that endured both world wars and still survives today? The USS Missouri, the USS Arizona, the USS Texas, or the USS Pennsylvania? Liked learning about this failed assassination attempt of Vladimir Lenin? Then you'll love this one about Russia's exit from World War I. Tap the screen to keep the story going on Today in History.